Sometimes the world just needs a hero to help cut through all the noise.
Well, now you have two.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of your Heroes of Noise. I'm one half of this dynamic duo. My name is Steve.
Look at that, Steve. You got through it the first time.
You bro.
I'm proud of you, man. See, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and good evening, as my man says here. He was having trouble. He didn't think he was going to get through it, but you know what? I believed in him, and here we are. So it's my turn now. Let's see if I can jack this up. Welcome to episode 194 of Heroes of Noise, and my name is Dan Ramirez. Hi, everybody. How you been? It's been a while. It's been a while, maybe a month or something like that. So I hope you guys still remember who we are, what we bring to the table, and just get ready to enjoy yourselves. I have a feeling this is going to be a nice one. How about that, Steve? I feel like I'm getting ready to take off on a flight. I'm like, check your, make sure your baggage is all checked in and all that shit. And, yeah, I guess I wouldn't be a good flight attendant, huh? Sit down and shut the fuck up.
Fantastic. I think that was you missed your calling, dude.
Sit down and shut the fuck up and strap in, because it's going to be a long one.
You would have been the first person to do that viral thing where you make a funny intro. I'd be like, oh, that guy's funny. It would have been you. Because you would have been sick of saying the same thing.
Everyone, the plane is crashing. I'm just kidding. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan. How you doing? That's how I break the ice. What's going on, man? Get this kitchen thing. What's the update on the kitchen? What's been going on in the life of Steve Hudson?
The kitchen is very, very close. Appliances have not been delivered yet. And the dope thing is they're like, either we could put it in, and I found out that Costco installs it for free. And so I might have Costco do it, but I still need the granite, still need the sinks, still need the plumbing, put all that stuff.
Wow, that just sounds unpleasant and expensive, but Godspeed to you. You put more work the other day into looking for a microwave than Frodo put into getting the fucking ring over to Mordor. I think that's how it works. I don't even know.
You have no
Clearly, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan.
Well, it was a debate. I was going to get one of those over-the-range hoods because they're like, that's what people are doing. Problem is, I don't think I have a big enough kitchen. I need to save space, so I don't need a microwave on the counters.
What kind of hood was it?
The over the range hood, those hoods that are nice and silver over your.
Oh yeah. Would you get the kind though that you can pull back the hood so you could work properly?
I've never seen that.
Never mind.
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're saying now.
Never mind, Steve.
This guy.
I was talking about a convertible car where you could actually get there and work on your interior. Shine your seats up a little bit.
I feel you, bro.
You know what I mean? Now it's a bean flicking joke, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kidding. I'm back. I'm back with the bean flicking joke. How y'all doing today? It's been a couple of weeks, Steve. According to the listeners, I'm all about just ass jokes and stuff. So I just thought I would get that out of the way. I'd get it out of the way. Now we're done. Let's move along.
Come on.
I know.
Tell me about your week. You went to a concert.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long.
Did we not talk about that? I feel like
not.
I've told a million people about that.
You have not, G.
Went to a concert and then watched a concert. We'll talk about that.
Oh, that's going to be the big one, dude.
Jeez Louise.
Couldn't do it, man.
Jeez Louise. We'll get there because I think you're making a sad mistake here, my friend.
Oh, no, I'm going to.
As a musicologist, I think this is something that if you miss it and you don't take in what it is and watch what goes down, I think you're sort of missing out.
Oh, no, I'm going to watch it, but I have to be in the mode. Otherwise, it will make me have a sad day. I have to be in the mode to be like, this is going to be a fun time, fun for all. And then just walk away being like, that was fun.
Okay, we'll talk about it later because then I'll start talking about it. But so I did go to a concert. Wow, I feel like it's been a long time since I've talked to you, my friend.
Yes.
All right. Well, for those that like old news and watch videos on our community page, I went to go see Incubus and Sublime with Rome a couple Fridays ago, actually. And it was fantastic.
What I got.
Yeah, they played that one. That was cool. Oh, I know why I felt like I talked about this. Because I was on Pop Culture Leftovers, their Patreon, the top 20. And I did it that weekend. And I was talking about it there. That's why it all makes sense now. That shit runs together after a while, dude.
Dude.
As you approach the age I'm approaching,
stop it.
One finds that life blends together. And I'm just wanting to retire and drink Earl Grey tea on the porch.
Wait a minute. Next month.
Close enough. November
7th.
Close enough, Steve. Let's go with that. You're off by a day. You're getting better.
I'm getting very. Gee, I think this is. I think you turning that magic age is going to blow my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I'm old enough to have 50-year-old friends.
Fuck off, Steve.
No, I'm saying like, wow.
Why are you going to make me edit now? I don't want this in there. I'm just
Why not? But you know what's funny? I have another 50-year-old friend, and he knows every time we talk on the phone, guess what we're talking about?
Aches and pains.
I'd be like, dude, you're almost 100. I'm like, you're halfway to 100, dog. He's like, that happened 2 years. He's 52 now. He's like, it happened 2 years ago.
And you
He's
keep
like,
just reminding him, huh?
all day.
God damn. Really looking forward to this.
It was just when I had his get together, I was just sitting there looking at him being like, gee, does it feel weird? He's like, will you stop, man? Yes, it feels weird. It feels freaking weird.
You better hope you don't fuck around in Thailand and get some kind of infection on your foot and then you lose a toe. Because I'll be like, damn, I have a friend with 9 toes now. I never had a friend with 9 toes before.
As you should. As you should. And the funny thing is, anyway, back to, let's talk about the concert, because otherwise we're going to get.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll get quick rundown. I'll review.
I don't know any Incubus songs, but I've heard they're really good.
Now, this is where you're making a mistake, sir. I feel like I should, maybe I should make you a list, like I did for the Foo Fighters back in the day.
No, you know what the big one was that you got me into, other than the Foo Fighters? Duran Duran.
Yeah.
You made a great list on that one.
So maybe I should just do that too.
Yes.
Because you're missing out on a good thing here.
And
it's cool to watch them kind of transcend too. Incubus is a band that's been around since 91. They're from Southern California, some city. I always forget what it's called because I've never actually been there, and it's this weird somewhere in the valley place. I can't tell you where it is. I could look it up, but I just don't care. Yeah, but they've been around forever, and they started off. No, it's not Reseda. It's not Reseda. But you know who is from Reseda, Steve?
Who?
That would be Daniel LaRusso.
He is from.
And is it Reseda? Yeah, it's Reseda. That place
Yeah.
you got to be careful because it's all about karate kicks there and violence. You got to be careful. But back to the Incubus show. They put on a fantastic show. They always do. They're one of those bands that can really just sound. It's almost like, damn, are they playing a recording? You know what I mean? Like they're that fucking good. And they're obviously not. But I mean, they could pull it off. Tool's another band that's like that. As they get older, I'd say that's changing a little bit. They usually put on a pretty active show. I'm really sorry, guys, by the way. You might hear me going, but my allergies are just kicking today for some reason. So I will try to work through that and hopefully not breathe too much into the microphone. But this was a good show, man, because this is something that Gail has been. She likes this band way more than I do. That said, I love this band. I think she's really, because we talked about how Brandon Boyd, the singer, will pull your girl and shit.
Oh, yeah. Skinny man. Looked like a guru.
Skinny man. Looked like the dude on, what was his name again? Robert, my man from Umbrella Academy. That guy right there.
Yeah.
Robert Sheehan or something like that.
Yeah.
Sheehan looks like him, kind of, in a way.
He really does.
They could like hang out and just pull chicks at a bar all night long, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm fighting both of them, for sure.
For sure. But anyway, he wasn't doing so hot that night, though, man. He had hurt his back. Because, when you get older, that shit happens.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I think he's got 2 years on you. What are you, 44 or 46?
44.
Yeah. So he's got 2 years on you. So in 2
You
years.
can't be hurting your back then, G.
And this dude's like an athlete and shit. So it could happen to anyone in Thailand.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, G.
You got to be careful, dude.
My passport is in flux, so I don't know how long it's going to. Apparently, there's some sort of holdup with passports. I'm like, come on, y'all.
Well, there's a way to expedite it. And I can talk about that too because Sarah is in the process of getting one right now.
Where's she going?
She's going to Spain, but let's stay on that for a second.
Sniff. Go ahead.
That's what I said. I said, oh, sniff. And she said, dad language. So anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole show. Let me just tell you this. It was because it's like I talked about it 2 weeks ago. It's out of my system now. I'm going to give you some highlights, okay? Anyway, I will say that Brandon Boyd hurt his back. So he did the whole show mostly from a stool, which was fine. Like I've seen Dave Grohl do that, and they killed it. And they put on this fucking great show. It was like an A+ Incubus show, okay? And that's all I can really say about that. But prior to that, there's you heard of Sublime, of course.
I have.
What I got. Sublime with Rome is the new thing because Bradley Knoll died many years ago, and they carried on this way. They tried to go under the name Sublime, and then Bradley Knoll, his wife, and the estate sued them. You can't use the name.
They said Bradley no.
They said Bradley no to them.
Okay,
Steve.
cool.
I'm glad you're awake because that was just something I really shouldn't have just come up with on my own. Anyway, I've seen them before, and they're good. They're not something that I choose to listen to a lot. That said, I've been listening to Sublime with Rome lately, just because of the vibe. Summertime. It's scorching here. It's only 115 degrees outside. So got to pretend I'm by the beach or something. So what was cool about this set is that Rome Ramirez is from that area. He, according to him, where was it? I can't remember what town he said, but he said it's basically like 4 miles up the street kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
So they're playing the set, and everyone's loving it. It was definitely like a trip back to the 90s. And which was cool about that, too, because as I'm walking around, Sarah's with me, Gail's with me, and Sarah and I went to go get merch and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, look at all my people, because, I grew up with the crowd. We started off as some youngsters, and now we're bringing our kids and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But it was a really good vibe because of that. There was no assholes. Everything went well. There was no line, there was no grouchy people in the lines for merch. Everyone was friendly. It was just like a perfect thing. So back to the Sublime show, Rome, the singer, stops and he's like, hey, I just want to say that, I grew up 4 miles away from here and I've been to shows here before. I saw this person, that person, whatever, but I've never played here. And he's like, this is like a fucking dream come true. He's like, I have 50 of my friends and my family, and they did, like, sitting on the stage with them. And he's like, and this is just like the best thing ever. This is like living a dream. And so that was cool. So when he did that, everyone got a little more into it,
That's a beautiful thing right there, dude.
Yeah, it was. But then he goes, I want to dedicate this song to my mom. And then he played this song called Light On, which really, if you have heard like Sublime and then you went, let me hear this song Light On by Sublime with Rome, it sounds like two different bands.
Okay.
Like they've progressed and it just doesn't really sound like Sublime anymore, in my opinion, which isn't a bad thing. But under the moniker, it's better that it says with Rome now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going kind of in a different direction. But that said, this song, Light On, was basically one of those songs about how every artist has these, usually it's the whole, I've been on the road, can't see my family, my friends' kids I don't even know who they are anymore. They're growing up. You know what I mean? I'm missing birthdays and graduations and all that kind of shit.
Yes.
But basically the chorus is something about like, for me, you'll leave the light on, meaning he's singing to his mom that he knows that whenever he does come back, she's going to be there with the light on for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's actually a really beautiful song, but he's singing this song and the cameramen, they knew what they were doing that night, dude. So it's like him and then her. And then him, and then her, as he's singing this, right? And you're starting to feel it. And I think you know where this kid's going. So Rome starts crying while he's singing this song.
Of course.
But it wasn't like a fake cry. It wasn't that Michael Jackson, she's out of my life, I'm going to cry every concert kind of cry.
No, dude.
This was a real, like he was having an experience up there.
Of
you know
course,
what I mean?
dude.
And he's like, I'm going to remember this night for the rest of my life at one point in the concert.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But he's crying. And the whole fucking crowd starts getting all misty and stuff because it was just this really beautiful moment.
Yes, dude.
So that happens. And then, let me pull this up because I don't think, you don't know this song, right?
Yes.
But maybe you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. So they have this song called Bad Fish. Okay.
Yeah.
Very popular song. What are you going to do with me? You going to let me play this one, yo?
Is it about food poisoning?
It's about getting a little bit of some tainted unagi.
Okay, just making sure.
I was going to play the sample, but whatever. I'm having some issues today. So anyway, it's just got this very familiar acoustic intro.
Okay.
And when you hear it, it's one of the crowd pleasers. So everyone's going to go off when they hear this song, right? So he's playing it, and it's just 4 chords maybe. And he just keeps playing it over and over again. He's like looking at the crowd. He's like, hey, put your lights up, that kind of thing.
Oh, dope.
And all the lights are going up. And he's just like, yeah, he's like, this is a moment I'll never forget. He's like, this is one of the greatest moments of my life. This is the best night of the tour. And he's just talking about it and everything. And I'm not playing it up now, but it's been 2 weeks. Like I could have told you a much better story with that. But the take home is that it was one of those things like, like in movies, when it's about like a triumphant moment in a band's career.
Yes.
It was like that, dude.
That's
it was
dope.
like that. That scene could have been in a movie.
That's
and it just fucking sold it, dude. And after, he had mentioned that he was from there and everything, and he was like familiar, he was making himself one of the audience members, being local. Everyone just ate it up, and it just became like the greatest night. Everyone was dancing, singing, like, it was kind of weird because I'm still kind of COVID-y, but people wanted to be hugging each other and shit. And
oh, that's dope, Jay.
it was super, super dope. Yeah, so I had a really good time, man. I mean, it was a top-notch concert, a perfect way to like end the summer. And I'm really grateful I went. But I got to tell you, Steve, they're playing oh gosh, maybe you won't be able to go. Maybe I won't be able to go. But they're playing October 6th. Incubus is playing October 6th in Vina Robles in Paso Robles.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this beautiful little theater.
That's a really good venue.
Yeah, dude, that would be one to go to, man. Like, I really think, because you know how you were saying as you're getting older and people say, hey, you should go check something out. You know, like, why not? Maybe I should. Yeah. I would highly recommend, as someone who is an appreciator of music, a musicologist and a musician, I think you would totally see what like, you would just come out going, wow, like they were doing some shit that I just didn't expect them to do. You know what I mean? Or
that's really dope.
Yeah. Incubus is one of those great bands, man. So
is Incubus normally a stadium band?
They've definitely crossed that.
Okay.
First time I saw them was like in 99. They had this song called Pardon Me. Have you ever heard that song before? Pardon Me? You had to have heard something from these guys, dude.
It wouldn't be on the radio station. We didn't really listen to radio. Once radio was done, we never listened.
I'm just thinking though, like, just from movie, you know what I mean? It's one of those songs. Like, maybe you've heard this one. I'm not going to play the whole fucking thing. What is going on with my shit today? Maybe I just won't play it, Steve.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on with my stuff
but
today.
Because what was the venue you saw Incubus and Sublime at?
Shoreline Amphitheater.
So stadium artists do Shoreline?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What is it?
I think the capacity is around 16 to 17,000. That's a good number right there.
That's a pretty good number.
Maybe it's 20. Shoreline Amphitheater might be 20 because I think Save Mart Center in our town is actually.
I think
16.
Save Mart's 16.
Yeah.
Shoreline's bigger than Save Mart Center?
Shoreline I'm going to find out. Yeah, for sure. Amphitheater capacity. I'm going with 20,000. Let's see.
I'm going with
22.5.
Damn.
22.5. That's a lot of people, dude.
That's a grip.
That's a hot chunk of change.
Damn, I didn't know Alanis Morissette could fill 22,000.
Oh, yeah. Just on nostalgia alone, you know?
Dude, that nostalgia is... If you put out an album at the right time, you could actually just tour on that album.
For sure.
If you put it in the right moment in the 90s, you could just tour on that. The weird thing is, there's not another decade like that. The 80s, 90s, 70s gave you, like, if you got one monster album, today you could come out and just go ahead and tour on that album. Not anymore, dude. Those days are over, man.
Like this album, Incubus has this album. I was going to play one song to see if you never heard "Wish You Were Here." You've never heard that song before. Jesus Christ, why?
I haven't heard an Incubus song.
I don't believe that, but I'm going to go ahead and say okay, and then I'm going to say that I'm going to change that and send you a playlist. Okay.
Okay.
As I need to send one to my daughter too because she's got a very wide range of music that she listens to, but she is lacking in the 90s hip hop department, and I feel like I failed her as a father.
Huh. Well, I mean, I think she'll naturally she'll hear something from someone and probably go digging, and next thing you know, that's gonna get her into 90s hip hop. She'll hear a song from someone like, who's that? Get on iTunes, and they'll start. Oh, you might like this too, then, and next thing you know, she's in.
Yeah, I'm still of the opinion that there's no finer era of hip hop. That's just my opinion. Maybe that's because.
Oh no, that's for sure, dude.
That's when they were telling stories.
Oh, dude,
it meant something.
It meant, I mean, all you have to say is The Chronic and Doggy Style came out that decade. That's a nutso double hitter, dude.
Yeah, Cypress Hill, House of Pain, Wu-Tang Clan, fucking Jungle Brothers, Busta Rhymes, Diggable Planet. It just goes on.
De La Soul. Well, De La Soul was 80s. I'm tripping.
Yeah, but they I think they had a little bit more popularity in the 90s, wouldn't you say?
Oh, it started.
What was it, like 89 for them, huh?
Yeah, 89.
Okay, so yeah, they kind of fell under that there, but I would still consider that 90s. I know it's not like technically, but
I believe if they did a like golden age hip hop tour where it had all those Rakim, De La Soul, like all the heavy hitters, I do believe it would be very successful.
Well, it's just you can't pay
them all. Huh?
Remember a few years back, I kind of went to that, dude. I went to Wu-Tang and De La Soul and The Far Side and Rakim. That was a good show. That was a very good show.
Rakim could still get it on, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? Far Side, not so much.
That's a shocker.
And if I'm being honest, well, they only had a few songs, so I really shouldn't say that. But De La really wasn't that impressive. Maybe in a headlining situation, and this is just my opinion, but maybe like in a smaller venue where it could be a little more intimate. They could command the crowd. That day, not so much.
I think they'd be good if they did what's a good venue here? If they did a Soroyan sized, but with aisle seating, then they'd rock. I don't think they'll ever have a hip hop concert at the Soroyan. The higher ups don't believe in it.
They're all, we gave you Hamilton, now stop.
That's as far as it's going.
That's as far as it's going.
And that was, that was great. But man, I think if you gave like Nas, because Nas does it like in a tux now, Nas would rock the Soroyan, dude.
Fresno seems to think that Nas should be out in Woodward Park.
That's the weirdest thing ever, dude.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Nas, he's actually on tour with Wu-Tang right now.
Oh, man. I
That'd
know
be a good show,
Method is
too.
on. I know Method's up there.
Yeah, they're all good. Like, who's... Okay. Genius,
and
not
Method
so
looks
much.
great, dude.
Jizza?
For 50-something?
Jizza, not so much.
Is Jizza up there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, not
They
so
better
much.
have the words up.
He forgot his lyrics.
Yeah. He has a habit of doing that.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like, you know what? I'm sure he's very appreciative of the rest of the crew. Hey, thanks.
Meth actually knows his stuff.
Meth looks like he's 25 years old still.
It's pretty strange. And he's rocked out now, which is
Yeah.
the older men that get rocked out. Wait a minute. Am I in that crowd if I get rocked out? I think I would because I got a gray beard, so I'll fool people.
Yeah. You're not rocked out, though.
No.
You're very slim.
Yeah, I'm getting there. My buddy of mine got on some aids, to help muscle growth in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I see it. He showed me a picture. I was like, dude, that's a week.
Are you thinking of doing that?
No. When he said your gonads may shrink, I'm like, guess what I'm not doing? And he said, oh, you might get pimples. I'm like, wrong again, Bob. So no, but it does make a difference, G.
I know there are people that strongly disagree with that like mentality that, your shit's going to shrink up and backing and stuff, and you have to do it a certain way. And I'm sure there is logic to that. But from what I've seen, and I'm not saying that it's untrue, but the people that I have seen personally fucking with this, not a good thing.
It's not.
They look good for a while, and then it's like, why are y'all red and angry all the time?
Yeah, dude. It's not a good. It's not a good. And for me, it's like, well, I'm not trying to look like Meth. And Meth, he just, he works out hard, eats right, and
I think Meth is natural.
Oh, for sure.
He looks natural
compared to what you're just comparing. Like for me, I'm like, man, he's rocked out. Compared to what he was, is what we're saying. We're like, dang, we didn't expect this. And man, that dude can rap to this day. He just did a feature on somebody's album. And I was like, Jesus, man, Meth can still like hang with the best of them.
When you gonna slow down, Meth? You've done your job. I mean, thank you for keep going, but
these 90s rappers love the game, dude. They love it.
We need more like
love hip hop, man. Yeah. Rakim loves hip hop. These
youngsters don't have the work ethic anymore.
Oh, dude, no. Like, they'll put out an album every 2-3 years. Back in the day, it's like, you better put out an album. Remember how many albums Jay-Z put out?
Yeah.
That dude, that dude used to drop albums all the time.
So did MF Doom.
Man, look, I'm so sad I got into him later on. It's so unfortunate. Now, mind you, I was not as huge fan as you, like all y'all super fans, but I do believe, I was like, man, that dude had rhyming skills, but I wasn't as big. Even when I got into him, I was like, he's good.
Yeah. If I'm being real, and there's no shade towards it, I'm being honest. I wouldn't say I'm a super fan, but a huge appreciator of MF Doom.
And also there's this backlash to, like, I was talking to Maj, I said, man, Eminem used to be able to rap. Kids hate Eminem now. It's like a thing you're supposed to do.
What's up with his dye beard?
Weird, isn't it?
It is very weird, man.
It's very strange, man.
Because, you've seen me. I can pretty much go full on Santa Claus if I grow a beard. And it's been that way for a long time. I'm just somebody like
let the grays out.
I just grayed sooner. Like I'm, a product of my dad. And he was a silver fox at like 28. I at least made it to like 40. But yeah, it's pretty gray. So someone was like, I was talking about this. Like, why don't you grow your beard out? You look good with a beard. And I'm like, because I don't want to look old, well then dye it. No, because then I really fucking look old.
It looks strange.
That is not a look of youth. That is a look of I'm really trying to hold on to something that's not there anymore, in my opinion. No offense to any of y'all that dye beards, but that's how I feel.
I love when I was trying to grow my beard, it I didn't mind looking elderly.
I'm gonna give it another try. Usually once a year I'm gonna give it another try. So let's see how 23 treats me. Because I looked at myself this year with that beard and I'm like, okay, yeah, it looks good. You can grow a nice beard, but it just, I think it's also because of my age right now. There's just a lot of mental shit going on.
Of course, dude.
That I'm sort of fighting off. But you know what? It 'tis the season, dude. I mean, I can't fight this, so I might as well embrace it. And then I look at other people that are older than me that are still getting love, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yes, dude.
I know it's not that. I know it's not that. Everyone's like, you're fucking ridiculous. Okay, wait till you get here and then tell me that I'm being ridiculous.
Isn't Grohl older than you?
He's 52, 53.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Oh, girl. God damn it. God damn it, man. Should we talk about that? Should we just go into that?
Man.
I mean, we'll kind of go. Well, it's us, guys. We'll probably go in and out of stuff.
Dan's Love Fest.
Man. Okay, so last Saturday.
Yeah.
Something really special went down. It's going to go down again at the end of the month, but I have a feeling that if you didn't catch this one, I think that's where most of... I'll explain. I think that's where most of the actual raw magic happened. You know, and what I'm getting at is, I know you've seen some of this, right?
Uh-huh.
So what have you seen? What I'm talking about, guys, I'm sorry. What I'm talking about is the Taylor Hawkins Memorial Concert that happened at Wembley Stadium last Saturday. Taylor Hawkins died March 25th of this year, and Foo Fighters have basically been silent since. Dave Grohl was yeah, I know. Crazy.
March?
Yeah, it was the day before my kid's birthday. That's why I remember that day.
That is so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was...
Wow. Yeah. And it's amazing that, I mean, it's only been a few months, you know, and it was kind of like it was all put on hold. I know that people were dealing with, like, the people that know Taylor Hawkins obviously dealt with their feelings privately.
Absolutely.
But for the rest of the world, it was kind of put on hold, you know? Foo Fighters disappeared, Dave Grohl disappeared, and then maybe a month ago you started seeing them at, like, you know, hanging out at a gig, or some asshole from paparazzi following him.
Yes.
Yeah, he had to kind of like work his way back into the world, I think. But I can honestly say that, this is just my opinion, I feel like I saw the wear and tear on him that day. You know, I'm not hating, I'm not throwing shade, but the guy's, he's a little heavier. He's a drinker. I'm sure losing your brother and your best friend, you're going to pound a little bit more alcohol. Dude. You know, he didn't look as healthy as he normally does. He looked aged, and it was sad kind of, but it's like, you know, everyone goes through that period, like when you're just mourning. And I do feel that he's still mourning this. And it was very obvious. I mean,
his brother died.
It was very obvious, but so that said, what did you catch as far as actual Foo Fighter performance? I
saw him and Taylor's son go crazy. I didn't even know Taylor's son could play.
Jesus, I didn't either, bro. And that kid's a beast. He pounds the shit out of those drums.
Yeah, he kills it. I saw that one. I saw obviously Paul. Man, Paul.
Okay. Man, Paul, I think I like the tone of what you're saying here.
Gee.
It sounded like shit, Steve. You know it did.
Here's my problem, dog. Here's my problem.
Uh-huh.
His voice is going.
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
It's going.
God bless him. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't change the keys to anything, though.
No. But
it's tough.
Okay, so you didn't watch the whole show.
No.
Speaking of Paul, let's get to Paul.
Yeah.
Because there are people actually reached out to me and they wanted me to talk about this. So let's just talk about it now. And we'll kind of go around. I saw more than you did. So I have some notes. I just kind of wrote a few things down and I'll talk about it. But all
right.
So throughout the day, the show started at 8.
This should be the time, by the way.
What do you mean?
I think we should use the time to do this.
Okay.
I really do, because it's a fairly, when you talk to me about it, I'm like, we shouldn't talk movies. This is like a big enough event. That
just sounds like, but you haven't seen enough of it. So that sounds
matter.
like it's going to be me talking the whole time.
Okay. If I went to this concert and you didn't, guess what I'd be talking about?
Well, I'm going to talk about it, but don't tell me how long to talk about it, Steve. You're not my boss. You're not my dad. Papa Steve.
Me and my 50-year-old son.
Yeah. Dad, I need diapers. All right. Anyway, fuck you.
The funny thing is you did an impersonation of yourself talking way different. Dad, I need to... Jesus.
I don't know. Shut up, Steve. Don't analyze me right now. You got me going in too many different directions.
Is that how you see yourself?
Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Yeah. If you're my dad, that's how I'm going to be. And basically, you know what? Change my messy diaper.
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
So... Throughout the day, it started at 8:30 in the morning Pacific time. This show went on for 6 hours. Beautiful. And I just got in, man. I was thinking, oh God, it's getting to the end and I got to go to work. But like a nerdy, I don't even know why I did this, Steve, because it's a television set that's stationary. I didn't have to drive or fly to London and then go to Wembley. It's something it's live, but it's on the television in which I just click on.
Absolutely.
And it's there.
Yes.
Not me. I camped out. I actually slept on the couch the night before because my bed that I bought is so fucking comfortable. I'll oversleep like a lot now. More, not a lot, but I mean more often than I want to. I tend to oversleep because it's just so comfortable. And I did not want to do that.
Must be the mattress you bought, you mean?
Yeah, I bought a mattress with the whole remote control and the
text
legs
me
go
link.
up and everything.
Text me the link.
I don't know if I have a link.
Okay, well, I want something like that. But go on. Anyway,
They're all over the place, Steve. You're going to go.
Yeah, I want your brand.
When you're searching. Okay, I'll do that, Steve.
Yes.
Endorsed by me. Mention my name and they'll give you a discount.
Zidanathan.
Just tell them the Manathan sent me for this.
For sure.
Yeah. But anyway, I camped out. Like I literally slept on the couch for it. And I got up in the morning, I hit it, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's going to be on in 59 seconds. And I'm like losing my shit because I don't know what's going to happen. And show starts off, and then it's immediately a slideshow.
Dude,
a slideshow. Them slideshows get me, dog. You know what I mean? But so I'm already like emotional. And I knew I was going to shed some, and I did. I shed tears. Of course I did. You know how I feel about this man, and I don't know why, but I'm heartbroken about Taylor Hawkins, and that is not even a hyperbole. It's just I'm fucking heartbroken by this. So the show starts, the slideshow starts, and then the Foo Fighters all walk out. Well,
yes,
everyone but Taylor, obviously.
Absolutely.
And I didn't mean something stupid, but it was just like it's the Foo
They're
Fighters.
not the Foo Fighters.
It just felt different, They walk out and they just stand there and they're just watching the crowd, and everyone's just fucking cheering their hearts out for him and everything. And then Dave does this, we're here to celebrate, and he gives a pretty nice little speech and everything. And he's like, and it's just going to be a day of just nonstop rock and celebration and celebrating life and death. And that's pretty much what it was, man. The lineup, I should say, was pretty incredible because there was a lot. Like Taylor Hawkins was a classic rock guy, and he also was so versatile that he just played with a bunch of different people. He had a bunch of, I mean, like Omar Hakim was. Did you see Omar Hakim play?
No, I did not see Omar Hakim.
Jesus Christ, that dude's badass, dude. He's something else. But anyway, yeah, he was there, and I didn't realize that he actually played for he played on David Bowie's album. He's played on so many.
He played on Thriller.
He played on Thriller.
Yeah,
I think he did. Has he played for Stevie Wonder?
Of course.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, because I just did a quick list.
He played for every.
He's one of those guys that's always been like, I know who he is, but I didn't know his whole his catalog or whatever.
Absolutely.
But holy shit,
he's played for every. He's one of the most famous studio drummers that has ever lived.
Yeah. So he was there. The reformation of the James Gang. Do you know who the James Gang is? I would play a song for you, Steve, if my shit's not working today.
Okay.
But you know who the Eagles are, right?
I do.
I know you know. I'm just kidding. But Joe Walsh of the Eagles, he had a side band called the James Gang, and they reformed specifically for this show for them.
That's beautiful.
They had been around. Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age played with them, and Niles Rodgers came out too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, dude, and they played "Let's Dance" by David Bowie.
Oh wow!
And they killed it. And I don't think you know who Josh Homme is, but big, tall, red-headed white boy that plays for Queens of the Stone Age. Very talented, kind of an arrogant dude, to be honest with you. And his swagger on stage kind of proves that. But he nailed that shit. Like as far as vocally, nailed it. Sounded fantastic. They played that. Played a couple songs. Every band was like playing just a couple of songs, So it was them. The Pretenders came out. Chrissy Hynde came out and played with Dave Grohl, who also played bass. Fantastic bass player. He plays it kind of like punk style, you know what I mean? But he's obviously he can play guitar. He can play bass, but he killed it. Mark Ronson and Violet Grohl, Dave's daughter, came out and they did some songs, some Jeff Buckley songs. One that threw me that I was not expecting, and I have mentioned her on the show before, Kesha.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now
that's interesting.
I would guess you know more about her than I do.
do.
Okay, so my only reference to her was that TikTok song, and which is to this day the most annoying song in the world to me. Like I hate that song, and I just thought that's what she was. I kind of wrote her off. Dude, she killed it. She's got a great voice. She was playing, I forget what they were playing, but Taylor's band, they're called Chevy Metal, and they were this amazing cover band. Yeah. It was kind of like an all-star thing. They had this like interchangeable lineup, and I was really hoping to see them one day, and obviously that won't happen now. But they came out, and they played songs. And Kesha, she killed it, dude. I was like, wow, you've got a really good voice. I just didn't know that she could do that. I know there's like some drama with her, like her label, and they wanted to kind of keep her a certain way, but I was like, wow, I might have to listen to some Kesha now because she was actually pretty good. That was cool. Violet Grohl, she's a star, dude. She's a star.
Yeah.
She kind of had like a bit of like a sort of like a Billie Eilish vibe going on.
Yeah.
But it was really promising. This show showed that rock is not dead. You know what I mean? And there's probably a whole bunch of kids just, they're in school right now, Steve. But
they're
on
waiting
the weekends,
they're waiting in the wings, dude.
There are garages with equipment waiting for these kids
absolutely
to create new art. And it was very promising, man. But Violet Grohl is awesome. Nandi Bushnell.
Phew, Jesus, dude. I saw her.
12 years old, G.
She's incredible.
She is.
Her drumsticks are an extension of her very body.
She is something else. And, it's been if you guys don't know who Nandi Bushnell is, if you probably do if you have Twitter or something, but it just started off, she was this young British girl, I would say probably 9, 10 that started off. And she was just she just had so much energy and she would play along with songs. She played the drums and she would like scream. And you just really, it was like infectious how much she was enjoying herself.
Yep.
One day she got the idea and Dave tells the story, to reach out to him and be like, hey, I challenge you to a drum battle. And because Dave Grohl is who he is, he's like, yeah, game on. And they became friends that way. And when Foo Fighters on their last tour, when they played the Forum, they brought her over to play Everlong with them. Like she's family. So they brought her back from her, I don't know if she lives near Wembley, but she was there. Obviously a lot easier to get there than to America.
Yeah.
And she just killed it. It's cool because you see her growing up. She looks older and everything, and her style is, dude.
It's amazing how, like, I looked at her, I was like, have I not seen her for a long time?
Yeah.
Kids just grow really fast.
Kids just grow really fast. They have those weird growth spurts, man.
Dude.
But she's so fucking talented.
She's so talented.
So it was really cool. Like, and then, did you happen to see any Wolfgang Van Halen stuff?
I did, actually.
Listen, man. I was talking to Rob Forrest about this because, when Eddie Van Halen died, he really should have gotten some kind of a tribute. Like, that man put in work. And he is responsible for so much of what rock has now. And he's just this major influence. He's a rock god, He
is a god. He is such a god.
He's a god among men, Steve.
Yes, oddly enough, I just read an article on Eddie Van Halen. And it's like, this dude did a lot more than I actually knew. And I don't even know why it came back around, but something happened. Oh, Thriller's 40th anniversary. And they talked about the big deal where, Michael called Eddie and was just like, dude, you changed the song to something. Like, you changed it into this is a hit now.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this is big news, man. He's a big deal in more than just there. But man, yeah, I didn't know, but I was not aware. I was not aware, dude. Not of Eddie, but Wolfgang.
I mean, wow.
I did not know. I didn't know. Man.
He was just, it was, I mean, I was speechless watching this, first of all, because like I said, Eddie really should have gotten like a tribute. And this sort of felt, or a memorial concert, and this sort of felt like a micro version of what he should have gotten.
He really should have gotten way more.
Yeah, he's on stage with Dave Grohl. He's on stage with Justin Hawkins, who's the lead singer of a band called The Darkness. Just murdering that guitar, dude. They played.
I didn't know who he was.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
No,
yeah.
until I found. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah. Oh, you probably just saw a lot of like TikTok and Twitter stuff, huh?
No. I watched the. I was flipping between, like, I was looking at videos and I was clicking all the different. What am I interested in seeing? What am I interested in seeing? And I somehow clicked on the video and didn't know who he was. And I was like, oh. And then it said Wolfgang Von Halen. I was like,
dude, looks just like his mom.
God.
Looks just like his mom, dude.
Oh, really?
Valerie Bertinelli.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely has the Valerie Bertinelli. He's got the Valerie Bertinelli look and the Eddie Van Halen fingers. That dude, see, Eddie has a tone, and I know you can mimic a tone. You can get the equipment, you can mimic a tone and somewhat the style. But it was like Eddie was playing through him.
It's
like,
in his blood. Dude.
It was, yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. Much like, that's why later on in the evening, Shane Hawkins went up there and just destroyed, because it's just in the blood.
That is, and here's the funny part with Shane. I don't know what he's going to do for a living. Maybe he does this, but if he doesn't, I totally get it. But even if he doesn't do this, and this is like I just know how to play. Mm-hmm. It may not be what I want to do I'll be like, it makes total sense that on a side note, you also destroy the drums because it's in your very blood, even if you didn't mean to.
Well, he definitely wants to be a drummer. You didn't see the Dave Chappelle thing where he came out and talked about the night that he spent with them, right?
No.
So did you ever see the video? I think it was in New York. Yeah, it was in New York. And he came out and he kind of did like a goofy version of Creep with them.
Oh, yeah.
So after that show, they all went to the Blue Note, which is that jazz club.
That's the jazz club.
You know, where Rothaniel was filmed?
Yeah.
That club. Mm-hmm. And somehow Shane got in, I guess, because you're
with Dave Chappelle, dude.
You're with Dave Chappelle and Taylor Hawkins, so you're going to get into this place. But he just said it was this really cool thing because, you know, I guess he's friends with them. So he'd seen the kid, he's talked to him a few times, but that night he was more interested in, like, instead of watching the musicians, he was more interested in listening to Shane and Taylor just talk music and talk drums and just, you know, just, he basically, Shane told his dad, he's like, yeah, you can't do that shit that the jazz drummer was doing. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, those are real musicians up there. But, you know, and he just told this really nice story. And it's just, I don't know. I guess when I see Dave Chappelle these days, I don't really think too fondly of him, but it was kind of nice of him to tell that story. And it's nice that he shared that experience on stage. But this was 6 hours, dude. 6 hours. What else happened? Did you see Rufus Taylor play?
No.
Okay. Do you know who Rufus Taylor is?
I do not know who Rufus
He is
Taylor
Roger Taylor of Queen's son.
Oh, snap.
Also playing the drums. And oddly, dude, you have to pull this up just to take a look at it. It was so weird seeing him play with the Foo Fighters because he doesn't, like, you know, when his head's down, his hair's just like bashing around and shit. He looked like Taylor Hawkins. It was weird. It was very weird. And I was saying to Gail, I'm like, there's no way that when they were rehearsing this, that they didn't all just stop for a second and go, isn't this fucking weird? You know what I mean? Because he just looked so much like him up there playing. It's crazy. Everyone's like, oh, he's the obvious choice. I think that would be weird. If they give it to him, he is a talented drummer. But I think that would be kind of weird for me.
I have a feeling who may get the gig.
I would like to say, you know what I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be a touring drummer. I don't think there'll ever be a permanent member that's a drummer in the Foo Fighters anymore. No. If they, in fact, ever play again.
I think there are only two people that are up for the job.
Okay, who?
Shane and Nandy.
No. Shane's too young. Nandy's way too young. To have a touring schedule like that, they're both too young. They're in school.
Dude, but remember, back in the day, like on these like Motown reviews, they had kids.
Yeah.
And if this is what if my son was like, I want to do this for a living, I would legit be like, then go, dude.
Yeah.
Like, then why are you even continuing? Go.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to do, go. This is a one shot. This is your one shot. And say he takes a year off. Well, then go back to school afterwards if you want.
Yeah.
But you have a year of tour, and I don't even know if they go for a year. If the Foo Fighters do,
they tour for multiple years, multiple countries.
Then
they play
go,
3 hours a night, dude. I don't think this kid's ready for that. Man. That's just my opinion.
Okay,
but I think that I'll just say this. I think the person that did the best overall, like drumming up there, was someone I was not expecting whatsoever, which was Travis fucking Barker. That dude is a beast.
I
on the drums.
saw that performance too.
That dude is I'm like, holy shit. I mean, his style, everything. I don't know what it is about him. He's kind of bugged me because he's just got, I don't know what it is about him. I think it's because his association with Blink-182, who I really do not like. So I just kind of lumped him in. But that dude has mad skills.
I might be a hater. I hated his monkey wrench. I hated it.
Huh?
I didn't like it.
That's okay.
Like he didn't play like Taylor at all.
Well, he's not Taylor, first of all.
I know, but the thing is, your goal in that setting, and I might be a hater, but your goal in that setting is to be like, I'm not going to do Travis Barker on monkey wrench. I'm going to be doing a tribute to Taylor playing monkey wrench.
I'll say this. I will disagree with you strongly on that.
All right.
I think it sounded really good. And I think that I personally thought he did the closest to Taylor. He doesn't have that style. He doesn't look like Taylor up there, but I feel like he did the best drum performance.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Fair.
Followed by, I'd say him, and then who else? See, Nandy only played one song. They're kids. You know what I mean? So Nandy only played one song. Shane only played one song. Yes, it was probably the highlight of the concert because of all the emotion involved and what's going on up there. But I don't know. I think I'm going to have to give it to old Trav Barker. And then there was Josh Freese. Are you familiar with him?
I don't know who Josh Freese is.
Josh Freese is he's one of those guys that plays with everybody. And he's played with Perfect Circle. He's played with Nine Inch Nails. He's played with Sublime with Rome. He plays with everybody, dude. The Vandals, everyone. And I've seen him play multiple, like just, oh shit, Josh Freese is up there. You know, whatever. The drummer was sick.
For sure.
Some random band.
Yeah.
Very good. He's very talented too. I felt like he was the one that was really not playing like Taylor. Like what you're saying. I felt like he did a great job, don't get me wrong. But it felt weird. And maybe it was because he was the first, like you saw that whole emotional thing when he does Times Like These, right?
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Jesus Christ, man.
I had to stop it.
Yeah. That's when the waterworks really kicked in. Because it was like, well, anyway, I'll get back to that. But
anyway, yeah.
When he played that, I was so raw with it all. I was just, and when the song kicks in, Taylor used to do all these drum fills and stuff, and as did Josh Freese, but it just felt weird. So maybe I wasn't being fair to him.
And it's a weird time signature, that intro.
Yeah.
It's a very strange time signature. And I will say this, mind you, I'm not, let me tell you something. If there was a hip hop show, I want to clarify. If there's a hip hop, like if Snoop was like, hey, I got Travis Barker on the drums, I'm like, oh, it totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like that dude can play. Yeah. Make no mistake. The boy can play his tail off. Mm-hmm. Not just for like, oh, he plays good for a rocker. Mm-hmm. No. He can legit play. I think for the specific pocket that Taylor had, and Taylor had a hell of a pocket where you'd almost forget he was there.
Yeah.
Cause he was the foundation for the Foo Fighters. You would forget that anything's even happening, but you can't forget Travis Barker. He's up there, doing Travis Barker.
No, that I'll agree with. I mean, he has a certain style and flair and everything like that. But I was very appreciative of his performance.
Oh no, and in my brain, and I think, mind you, this is a stupid idea, and I know in my brain, I would just like, since you're saying a tour, no one's going to join the Foo Fighters. It's going to be a touring drummer.
I think so.
And I was like, well, then just get the best drummer from a rock band that you can possibly get and have him tour with you. Like I heard, not using this person, but I heard Tool's drummer's good, amazing. I was like, get somebody and just say, since you're not joining the Foo Fighters, you are a guest. And we just tour with you. You do the songs, we kill it.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're not going to ever put someone in the Foo Fighters. We just have a touring drummer. Just do that, dude. You're totally right.
I really feel like that's the move. Obviously, totally whatever decision they come with is going to be the move.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right, though.
If I had my druthers, I would say that would be the way to go.
You're totally right, dude.
As a respect thing, they've been around for 26 years. It's not like they're going to make another 15 albums.
Yeah. And you don't want to do what Queen was doing. We're getting different singers to tour with them and stuff.
Yeah. I got stuff to say about Queen, too, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, man. But anyway.
We're moving on. Let's go.
Yes. Got stuck on Travis for a second, but I thought he did a really good job. What else did I write down here? So, yeah, Rufus Taylor looking really odd. I'm just reading my notes. Looking very odd like Taylor Hawkins. Travis Barker. What else do I got here? The Wolfgang. I think I pretty much covered everything. I will say that London is an extremely mellow crowd. Like, there's London and then there's like Japan. You know what I mean?
Well, also London, that stadium has an air of respect.
Yeah.
Wembley is a different venue.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm an American and we're rowdy and shit, but it was just like loud cheer, silence. Loud cheer, silence. That's weird for me.
Wembley has a very specific. Every time you've seen a Wembley, the only time I've ever seen Wembley not normal is when Michael Jackson was there. Where it was like, okay, we got to carry people out on ambulance.
People lost their shit.
But normally, like even when you saw like Freddie, they were really just engaged.
Yeah.
Singing along with them.
They weren't rude by any means. It wasn't like that. And they were clearly feeling it. Like you would see these shots of people just crying and singing.
It's a perfect crowd.
Yeah, it was a perfect crowd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you couldn't have asked for it.
The fact that Taylor Hawkins was able to, because that's what I consider it. It wasn't the people that sold out Wembley. It was Taylor Hawkins, that he was able to fill that stadium posthumously. That's just a beautiful statement of the love that dude, shared with other people and people wanted to give back to him. It's a beautiful thing, dude.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful that it sold out so fast.
Boy, I mean, I tried, dude. I really tried to get tickets.
You were going to fly out there?
No. They're playing, I think it's the 27th or the 23rd at the Forum.
Oh, geez.
It's going to be the second show. That's what I was getting at earlier. It's like, after going through those 6 hours of emotion, joy, sadness, you're like going through the process of grief while watching this show. in micro form. I don't know if it's going to be like, okay, let's just take the Times Like These intro.
Yes.
Like, is that going to be the same thing in LA?
No, but also, dude, it was outside venue.
Yeah.
Feeding off that massive crowd.
Yeah.
Forum is not even half
No,
that.
I think the Forum's like 17 G.
Yeah, maybe 16.5. Like, and mind you, that was big for when the Forum was there.
Yeah.
Like when the Forum was, when we were younger, the Forum was huge to us.
I've only been there once, but it was massive.
Yeah.
It seemed it anyway.
It was huge. When I went to see Magic and Kareem and them, it seemed like the biggest place I've ever been into in my life when I was a kid.
Damn,
But
you were there for that. That's pretty amazing.
I caught a basketball that night. That's how close we were.
That's dope.
I know. But so it was the biggest place, but now I'm shocked they didn't go with the new Rams or the football
SoFi
stadium.
or something.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you know what? Maybe there might be a thing because this was really put together.
It could have been a booking issue.
Totally. Staples and SoFi might be just booked out.
Yeah. Did you hear what happened to real quick? Did you hear what happened to SoFi this weekend?
What happened?
The weekend went on.
Oh, and he lost his voice.
Within like 2 songs. He's like, I'm done.
You know, funny?
Shit happens, but that would be such an inconvenience.
I would be. And the weird thing is, I heard Charlie. Is it Puth?
Yeah.
He came out. He's like, "Hey, man, for real, as a singer, it happens." And I was like, "Oh, well, then I can't say." He's like, "It's happened to me. I know how it is."
Of course. Yeah,
But
I don't
2
think
songs in, man.
I saw the little speech he gave right before he left the stage, and it was very sincere. And he's like, "I'm going to come back," and I'm sure he will. But our friend Summer went to that show.
Oof.
So that's gas money, hotel, food, drink. It's a whole process when you go to a concert and you're staying out of town.
Are they getting refunded?
It's a lot of they did get refunded.
Okay.
But still, that's a lot of wasted time.
It is a lot of waste. You don't get refunded for the hotel.
Yeah, and then who says that you're going to be able to even go to the other show? And she's not, because she got refunded. It was like an immediate refund thing, because I think they got theirs on StubHub. But anyway.
The tough part is, I think the beautiful thing is, it makes you look at these bands like Foo Fighters, even like Michael and Justin Timberlake and all them cats, how often it didn't happen. They just sung through tour after tour after tour after tour, and they never was like, "Oh, I lost my voice halfway through." Mm-hmm. It gives like, wow, it takes like stamina for Dave Grohl to get out there and scream.
I don't know how that dude does it night after night.
Again, dude.
I don't know how he does it.
It's nuts, dude. And so even, this, he was able to sing through emotion. Most people couldn't make it through.
Oh, God. That was just...
I couldn't do it.
Like, that was not faking. And then take that. Okay, let's go back to I know this is a real thing, but let's put it into a movie situation again. The way that they filmed that was totally intentional, but I think it even helped it because the lights are out. Mm-hmm. That intro they do was like the latest thing they were doing on their tour. That's how they opened up when I saw them last. It was that, the keyboards and then the slow and then it kicks in. But he was doing that. And then you're looking at the crowd and then they show that shot of him looking out at that hawk.
Yeah.
That was like, he's singing to Taylor, dude. And it was just
dude.
I don't know. I mean, mad respect to him, dude. And I'm sure it took a lot of rehearsals. I'm sure that first time back in the studio was super weird, super emotional. And I'm sure that they had to stop then,
That's a tough, that's a very, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like, he made it through all the rehearsals. It didn't get him to this.
Maybe. And maybe so.
Because everyone's feeding, like you're doing rehearsals, you're having to stop because you're like, no, we count to 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Like you're having to teach all the band members.
Yeah.
So you don't have
that's
time
true.
to get into
Lots of business side. Yeah,
yes,
that's
like,
very true.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got to make sure we hit that thing right there. Mm-hmm. But when you're out there, all of a sudden you're like, Jesus
and
Christ.
It's back. You're back to where, he died on tour. So it's like, this is the first time. I know he played like a jazz show. He did a couple of things. Like he made some appearances, Dave Grohl did, but that's his band in front of their first audience since all this happened. Yeah, that's got to be just some
Also, it's weird to
emotion.
know that normally behind you was that solid your brother.
Yeah.
And knowing he's not behind you right now.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, you're waiting for him to kick in.
Yes,
you
you're
have
like,
done these
"Jeez."
songs for 26 years. You know the cues, you know everything, and it's just not there.
It is so, and that's why I just was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I feel you, but I think if you went back, it's more of a
now I
celebration,
could. Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready for I was like, oh, I want to see this. And when he starts crying, I was like, I can't do this today. But now I'm going to go back and watch it because I'm prepared.
Yeah, I was there for that. Like I was there to grieve with them, you know, and celebrate with them. That's just, I had no idea how much I genuinely appreciated that man until he was gone. Yeah. And it blew me away. Like it's just like, you know, when people die, you don't expect it. So it's always there. It's a crutch. It's something to lean on. It makes you feel better. And it's just, as soon as that was gone, I mean, it fucking hit me hard. So I was there for that. I was there to grieve. And I certainly did. You know, it was a celebration, and it's fucking fantastic. The whole show.
The scary part about aging is as we get older, we will see more of our favorites going.
Yeah. And we've seen some brutal ones, man. We have lost some. Dude, we've
beasts
lost
in the last
legends.
20 years, G.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, music now, the landscape of who's around is different than 20 years ago. It's just totally different. You know, we had Prince. You know what I'm saying? We had Michael, I believe. Mm-hmm. You know, all these people. We had Taylor. We had all these monsters that were here on Earth, at least, walking. And now it's a totally different landscape, which is why, you know, you saying the kids were in the wings ready to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. That means that there's people waiting in the wings. So the thing is, I think they're going to have to do it themselves, because now we don't have agents going around seeing these garage bands. No. You're just going to have to put it out on iTunes and hope that you get that crowd. The game's changed. The game's changed, but you're just going to have to tour and pay for your own tour. And then one day someone's going to see you and be like, holy crap, this band, right? Yeah. Like they did in the old ska days, where they would just do these little festivals. The next thing you know, oh snap, that band's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I'm going to watch the show. I'm not going to watch Paul again. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Getting back to Paul real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is what I think happened. Now, I could be completely wrong about this, but I kind of started off talking about, you know, how the day was progressing with the different bands and everything. And I know I'm abridging the shit out of this, but I was meaning to get back to Paul, because to me, I felt, and when you watch the concert in its entirety, bro, tell me I'm wrong. I think Paul showed up late, because Dave was out there playing, and the Foo Fighters at times playing with these other people playing their songs, right?
Yeah.
And Chrissy Hynde was there with the Pretenders.
Uh-huh.
And then the Foos go on, and it's fucking emotional, and then it's like the show just hit a fucking brick wall, and Paul comes out and talks about, I wrote this song. Fuck off, Paul. Listen, you're Sir Paul, and I get that, bro, but you just fucking like did the biggest speed bump ever in this performance. And listen, he's Sir Paul. He's friends with them. He Taylor loved him, so I get that part. But that was just, it was bad, dude. It was really bad. And this just proves to me that I'm really glad that I didn't go see Paul McCartney. I get it. I'm sure the songs were there. I know you had a fantastic time. I'm sure you were emotional and all of that. And I'm not taking away from that. But for me personally, I don't want to hear that. I would much rather just listen to young Paul do it. Because if that's what he's putting out, I am not paying money for that, bro.
No, he sounded better at the concert, but I will say this. He sounded like old Paul 4 years ago in Dodger Stadium. He sounded like the original Paul. This one, number one, since he doesn't put lower the keys for songs, you know, Old Darling is high. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a high song. Number two, if you've never done the song live, I wouldn't try it on stage first. I would be like, you know, let me do a tried and true. We've done it a million times. Like if he would have done Yesterday, oh, dude, people would have been like, you don't have to sing it. Everyone will just sing it for you. But since he did Oh Darling for the first time live, I think he did it for Taylor, which is beautiful. Knowing that maybe Taylor really liked the song or something. Mm-hmm. But man, his voice, I've never heard his voice like that before. Yeah, I've never heard his voice like that.
It was such a just jarring moment to shoehorn McCartney in there. And I know it's out of love. I know, like I said, they're friends. If you listen to the audiobook or read Dave's book, he talks about it, you know, to some degree, you know, like a whole chapter, I think, about Paul.
He keeps coming up later on.
Yeah, if it's not a whole chapter, he keeps coming up. But it's quite a bit of time that he spends talking about Paul. So I get all of that. But it's just like, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, hey, man, he's running late, but he really wants to do this. Okay, we'll squeeze him in. And that's how it felt to me. Because the moment he left, it all came back again. And I don't know why you would, like, do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it just felt really weird. Like we're having this emotional set. We're playing all these songs, the ones that Taylor shined on, the ones that we know the crowd really wants to hear for the most part. They did play an abridged set, and then let's throw Paul in there and just, it was bad, dude. It almost made me a little angry, if I'm being honest with you. Like shame on you assholes for doing that, but it's their gig. And I think that when all is said and done, I think that the Taylor Hawkins Memorial Concert that's how you do a memorial concert. I don't think there's really quite ever been anything like that before. And I'm hoping that it sets this gold standard for, it's kind of morbid to think that way, but for other artists that pass in the future that truly deserve to have appreciation, maybe they pass too soon, whatever. That's the way you do a memorial concert. And
for sure.
I imagine that when they play the Forum, some of the little choppiness, like, okay, let's just say I'm the producer of this concert, right? The streamed version of this concert. Mm-hmm. What I would have done is I would be running video in between sets, because they would play, if you watch the whole version, and you're not fast forwarding, you're going to get about 10, it's like watching a concert. The band goes off, they change the stage up, band comes on, etc. I would probably put in like slideshow stuff. Yeah. In the streaming, just to keep it going. There's 26 years of a career that they could do video, they could do this, and they did, but it was like, I feel like the next one's going to be more streamlined. And I'm not sure if they're streaming that on Paramount Plus, but I hope they do. I'll watch it. I'm going to be watching everything, being that I'm going to be down from surgery, but I just feel like I just don't know if you're going to capture the emotion that was captured in London that day.
Yeah.
So, but it was just, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever you want to call it. It was a beautiful experience, and I'm really glad that they did that. And we need to see more of that. But yeah, dude, it was awesome. Really awesome. One thing that I will say that I did not mention, kind of in the situation with like Paul McCartney, is Rush's Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee came out and they played a set a little bit, and they don't tone down either. And Geddy Lee has this very high pitched voice. And I've noticed this for years, because I've seen Rush tour many times. He fights that. He really tries to keep that high pitch, and he can't do it anymore. And that it kind of hurts the set sometimes. And so I get it. Like, tone down your stuff. But who am I to tell these guys this? These people with 40, 50 year careers that are doing just fine. I think they're going to be okay without Dan Ramirez's opinion.
And they'll also be okay with your critique.
Maybe. They don't give a shit. Of course they'll be okay.
Yeah, who are you? With it, so critique them.
Yeah. It's like,
now, what did you think about Brian May's performance?
Oh, thank you. I don't know how I forgot that, because obviously we were going to talk about it. I appreciate Queen.
Yes, you do.
Not the biggest fan like you are. Mm-hmm. That's not a hating thing. It's just, there's a certain level I go up to, and after that, absolutely. I still appreciate him, but it's just not my thing. I had no idea that Brian May sang like that.
Neither. I was looking at Marsh. I said, did you know Brian May could sing like this?
Yeah.
And then we both came to the consensus of, you can be amazing, but when you have a Freddie Mercury in front of you, it makes you not as. That's the only thing.
Yeah. But
in any other group, he shines, dude.
He crushed Love of Mine.
Crushed it! And that's a dangerous song to try.
Yeah, but that was one of the most beautiful moments of the concert, too, because, Queen's history with Wembley.
Oh, dude.
It was really awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that back up again, because I honestly would have just forgotten that, because I'm just babbling right now. But beautiful. So good, it made me kind of go, okay, maybe I will see Queen tour.
I still wouldn't, but I see what you're saying. Though.
Like I know how you are, and it's this or nothing, and I get that. It's one of those things. Like, I'm a collector of concerts.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
I totally understand.
I would say, you've often asked me bucket list, and I'm running out of bucket list concerts.
Oh, that's right. You've seen everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, at least once.
Yeah, I don't have a bucket list anymore. Elton was, but now I don't think he's on my bucket list. Yeah, Billy Joel's the only bucket list.
Yeah, I think Queen is one of those bands that's still functioning to some degree.
Yeah,
I think I would actually go see them and just be like, okay, I know it's not a Freddie night. I know Freddie's not going to be there. I know it's not going to have that Freddie vibe, but it's Queen.
Yeah,
and I want to go check it out. But I was super impressed with how he sang.
Dude, and the thing is, that song is notoriously difficult. Like, that's a hard song to pull off, especially because of how well Freddie does it. That's like his signature. As soon as they hear the guitar intro, Wembley goes nuts because they're like, oh, we sing this with Freddie. And Brian May, I dare say he did one of my favorite versions of the song I've ever heard, dude. And I've only heard Freddie. So I'm like, hey, he rivals. Because he has a beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, which makes sense now. You know, when you hear of all his background vocals he did for Queen, it makes sense now. I'm like, oh, he just, you know, he sings so well.
Yeah.
But man, it was so beautiful, dude. And this is the house, not the house, they didn't build it, but it's Queen's house, man.
It's Queen's house.
It's Queen's house.
For sure.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing a couple of people. Noel Gallagher came out.
I heard he got up there and did his thing.
He was the opening, and I'm like, at first I'm like, yeah, come, man, really? Because it's Noel Gallagher, and he's just an infamous prick.
That's what I hear.
He's the prick of all pricks, but he's talented. You know, I mean, whether you like him or not, Oasis was a very popular band. So they did a couple of Oasis songs there. I know they're a lot bigger there than they are here.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then who was the last? Oh, yeah. And then Lars Ulrich came out. And it's funny to me. You know how I feel about his drumming.
Yeah.
And he came out with Brian Johnson, the singer of AC/DC, which was nice to see him too, because he's having some issues too. And I didn't think he was going to even come back to the microphone. Yeah. Kind of Huey Lewis issues. I think it's a hearing thing.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I know. But so they played some AC/DC songs, and I just thought it was so funny. I'm being a dick right now, but they chose Lars for AC/DC because AC/DC is all about 2/4. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot going on with the drums. It's any fucking dude in a dive bar can do an AC/DC cover for the most part. So it was funny that they gave Lars that.
I'm shocked that Metallica wasn't there.
I'm glad they weren't.
Oh,
they tend to make it about themselves, man. It's always even like at the end. You know, Lars has to say something. He gets up. He's like, yeah, you know, blah, blah, appreciation. We'll be back. We'll see you next year, Metallica. You know, fucking just stop with the Metallica thing, dude. Please. He cannot go a day. He can't go a minute without saying Metallica.
You know what the funny thing, the way that he talks about Metallica, you would swear that they're a struggling group. Like, I have to do marketing.
Yeah.
Like, no, you really do.
You're Kiss at this point. Seriously, you can fucking sell pinball machines, whatever. And people are just going to buy it.
Your Kiss.
Yeah, seriously. Have you tried the new Metallica soap? You know, it's that. It's a business at this point. I'm not hating on him. I know, like Rob's probably rolling his eyes right now. He loves Metallica, and I don't have to explain myself. If you've listened to this show for any point, I appreciate them.
Everyone I've known that has gone to, I have not heard one person, even from people who weren't fans that have gone to a Metallica show and come out and said they didn't like it. They came out, they're like, dude.
They're always entertaining.
Wow.
They're always entertaining. I just think that,
so no hate.
Yeah, I just don't like James Hetfield singing anymore. So that's what I will hang on to that. But if I can get past that, and usually it takes a few beers, it's always a fun time.
So you wouldn't have chosen them for the tribute? One song?
I mean, I'll just say that I'm glad they weren't there. If they were there,
fair.
I wouldn't have really given it any thought, because it makes sense. They're legends. You got to give them their props.
But I don't know what they sing to that makes it about Taylor. Because they have hits, dude. Yeah. And it becomes a Metallica show.
I can't even picture James Hetfield singing any Foo Fighter songs.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. And if they did Inner Sandman, I'd be like, oh, you're at a Metallica show now.
Well, that's the thing. You know what? They probably would have done Metallica, because that's what a lot of these bands did. They were playing other songs.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, no, because Lars was there. I was going to say maybe Taylor wasn't a huge fan, but I'm sure he was, dude. That dude just had nothing but love in his heart.
He had love for in worst case, people were fans of his.
Yeah.
So, and he's not the type to be like, I don't like your stuff. They're like, oh, I like what you do too. Yeah. Now, the lovely part is, like you said, Taylor and Dave always gave the love to the jazz drummers. They're like, what they're doing up there is magic.
Yeah.
They're creating magic. And I think that's why they were so good, because of where they honed their skills, dude. They were like, Taylor was a legit monster drummer who, I don't even think he used the click track.
No.
He had like an internal metronome that was
and he could literally play anything.
Anything, dude.
Anything. That guy, he could play, like, I mean, you know, a lot of people go, it's like, if you can play metal, cool, I get it. You can do double bass, you know, and you're good with your fills and shit like that, and your blast beats and everything. And I'm not taking away from that. I'm sure he could do that. But he had too much groove in his soul, dude. He
nasty, dude.
You know, like you said, he had this pocket, and fuck, dude, it just breaks my heart that
it's a bummer. I mean, what do they say? They burn bright.
The flame that burns twice as bright burns only half as long.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and that was Taylor Hawkins, dude.
It really is it's almost like is in this situation. It's like, you talk to your mom or your grandparents or whoever. They remember they're like, oh, rock gods were just dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got used to just one after the other, after the other, after the other. We were blessed to be like our folks were living longer lives. Because, you start taking care of yourself later in the 80s. It turns out, oh crap, if you do this stuff, you die early. So, health became a thing. But, ever so often we still lose one that's young.
Yeah.
And it sucks, dude. I couldn't imagine having been living in the 60s where they're like, yeah, every day you're getting to be like, oh, guess who died? Jimi Hendrix. Guess who died? This person. Guess who died? You're like, Jesus.
Well, yeah.
Christ.
Think about that 27 Club.
Dude, it was just one. Boom. Mama Cass.
Jim
Jimi
Morrison.
Yeah,
Jimi
Tim
Hendrix.
It's
Kurt Cobain.
Well, you're afraid to even like people because you're like, wait a minute. If I like this person.
It's like coming out of a bad relationship. I don't want to get too close.
Exactly. Like, I like this album, but should I even be looking for a second or is this just going to. And so, in this situation, we lost a very important part of a very important band. And the good thing is, I don't think Dave Grohl's even considering what to do next. I think he's kind of just been like, no, he might take years off, maybe go on like a 60-year-old tour in 8 years or something like that. But I don't think he goes.
Obviously I have no inside info. That would be a dumb thing to say.
You didn't call him, yeah.
I just have this weird feeling that if they make another album, it's going to be one album. I don't know if they're going to make that album. I think Dave will continue to make music. Yes. They may even perform together in some capacity, but I don't. If they do, fantastic. But there's just something that's just not going to be there anymore. You know what I mean? And I think Dave knows that. I think they all know that. What I would like to see if they're going to go out would be like a farewell tour, like we were talking about with a drummer.
That'd be beautiful.
That sits in with them and
yes. Again,
maybe more of a celebration of over the last 27 years of the band.
Yes.
And then go out on a high.
Absolutely. Now, in the celebration, you're saying you don't want this to be in every venue is a Taylor Hawkins sad fest.
No.
We're just celebrating the Foo Fighters.
Yes, we are going to go. This is going to be our celebration goodbye tour. Whatever.
That would be really smart.
I don't want them to go away. I just don't. And what the fuck do I know? But I just. I feel.
Yeah, you've known this group for a long time, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That relationship that those two had, I personally have never seen a relationship like that between two guys that are like a bond is what I'm trying to say.
They're brothers, man.
In rock. I've never seen that. You can talk about like the Toxic Twins, Steve and Tyler and Joe Perry. That's a pairing. You could talk about Lennon and McCartney. That's a pairing. But maybe you'll disagree with me. I don't think the love was as strong as it was with Dave Grohl. And like put it this way. I don't think they projected that.
Well, I also wonder if they might have, the Foo Fighters has done more albums together than the Beatles have.
Yeah.
So, automatically.
That's true.
They've
known each other. They've known each other longer. Like
they've known each other for a long time.
Yeah. Like this all seems so ancient. You're right. Because it all seems so ancient, like a million years ago. But yeah, it was just this brief moment in time.
Really? They only recorded for 7 years.
Yeah. That's nothing, dude. That's fucking
nothing.
That's like blinking your eye.
Now. But they just made such an impact in 7 years that it's just like they were recording for 48. No, they weren't. They weren't doing. Yeah. And these guys have been recording for 2 decades. Is it more than that?
Foos?
Yeah.
26 years.
26 years, yeah. G. Mm-hmm. How long with Taylor?
Actually 27 because I went to their 26-year tour. So 27 years.
How long with Taylor? 27?
Taylor was only not on the first album. No.
Dude.
I take that back. Taylor came in on the second album, but Dave recorded the drums for the second album. But Taylor was there for the color and the shape.
Think about how long that is to know that is a family relationship right there.
Yeah.
That's a familial relationship. And so I get why. Now, I will say this. If Dave does release a solo album, hypothetically, he just does, this is just Dave Grohl. I have no doubt it'll be good.
Oh,
because he's just good.
He's already done it.
But I'm saying post Taylor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see yours.
It's going to be a way different.
I could see him going on like an acoustic tour.
Oh, he'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because even though you're not making an album with your brother, guess who you're trying to impress? Mm-hmm. Your brother. You want your bandmates to hear your album and listen to it and be like, oh, that's dope. Taylor's not there to be it's weird, dude. I feel bad for Taylor. I really feel horrible for him.
It makes me just so sad. It really does. And no one really has called me like you're being kind of silly, bro. You know what I mean? But I've questioned it because like I am so invested in this, man.
Dude.
And just so
that's
fucking
27
heartbroken.
years, dude.
Yeah, man. Like, we've done a lot of talking about his death, over the course of the last couple of years, or excuse me, couple months. But I just can't explain it. I just have never had this type of a feeling for a musician that was taken away. And it just blows my mind that I
wasn't as invested as you were.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't know I was that invested. You know what I'm saying? But it's formative. Like this band was formative with us. Like I was dating my wife when we saw them the first time.
Yes.
And I had kids and my kids learned the songs.
It's the soundtrack to your life.
Yeah. There's
part of your life.
There's a friend of mine. She's a listener too. I'm not sure if she's listening much anymore because she's a teacher and very busy, but her name's Kristen. And that's kind of how we kept our friendship because, time takes people away from each other, but we were always able to go back to the food.
Yeah.
And it just I've just had some of the best times of my life going to these shows. And it's just you just know it's not, even if they toured next week, it will not be the same.
And that's another reason why I was just like, I need to start going you just don't know.
You don't, dude.
And so, even though I wasn't as invested as you were in 27 years, when I saw that, I thought I was reading it wrong. I was like, oh, you mean another Taylor?
Yeah.
Hawk, like you think you're reading something wrong because it's like, wow, this is downright sad news. Dude.
I'll never forget where I was when I heard it, who's the first person I heard it from, how I felt. I mean, it was
terrible.
It was I think it was Saturday. I know that. I know it was March 25th. I think it was a Saturday. I was at Target with my daughter. She's like shopping around. I'm walking around the freaking makeup aisle while she's like buying some supplies and shit. And I'm like bored. So I'm looking on my phone because makeup's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I see Kevin Shanks is the one that actually put that up. Like, oh my God, what a loss. And I'm like, all right, Kevin, you better be fucking with me right now. You know what I mean? And then I started looking and it was just like, oh my God, it's true. And then I told my daughter who loves them and we just got quiet and we just kind of went, let's go. And we went home and we told Gail and then she got upset and it was a really weird night, man. It was a really weird night. And then I went into my bedroom and I fucking cried.
Yes, dude. And the thing is, it teaches us, man, look, if you have an idea of a band you might want to see in their original form, if they're in your area, even if you're just like, I like a few of this, just go. Yeah. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't be like, oh, I'll just see them when they come around the next. You don't know. I don't know. That's why as you've seen this last year, I've been like, I gotta go see these.
Yeah. Now,
these
Steve,
people, man.
You know for a fact that you're a hard nut to crack. If you don't want to be cracked, it just ain't gonna be cracked.
Yes.
I regret not really almost being a dick, or just maybe not being a dick, but being just obnoxious about getting you to go to that last show in December. I really wanted you to go.
Well, I was gonna go see. Like, oh no, it's on my bucket list to see them.
But that's the thing. Yeah, I wanted you to go that one, but you never know. And now it's even more important. But like, it makes me sad because I have video from that show. I do have the intro. I'm learning that I don't want to keep. I like to film things, but I don't want to be the guy that sees the concerts behind the phone all the time.
Oh,
but
man.
certain occasions, or for instance, when I was at Tenacious D, I'm in the second row. I'm sure I'm going to get some good video.
Of
you know
course.
what I mean? But at that show, at the Save Mart Center, I filmed the intro, and that's literally all I filmed. And I'm glad I got it. But what makes me sad about it, and I could show it to you one day, that night I knew something was off, dude. And I know I've mentioned that before, but Taylor didn't look right.
You said that,
yeah,
dude.
he didn't look right, dude. He was like extra skinny because Taylor's, they both have those big mouths, big teeth and big mouth. And he just looked so sucked up, like not skeletal, but almost.
But
he looked malnourished.
That Grohl, you're like, he was drinking in the or something like that. You're like, something's wrong.
It was this. It was that they were playing a show and they were saying all the things they normally say.
Yeah.
And they were, this ain't it, motherfuckers. We're still going to keep going all night. And all that shit was there. Dave wasn't joking quite as much, but maybe I'm just reading into that. because last time I saw him, it was like as a goddamn stand-up comedian and had the whole crowd laughing and everything like that. And this time it was just a little bit more business. But I just kept thinking, man, something just didn't feel right. I don't understand it. I have a level of excitement when I see a Foo Fighters show. I mean, I've literally lost my voice singing at these things.
Absolutely.
And coming out and talking about it at not, just boring people with it for a week after.
I don't think you bore people. I really think.
No, I mean, I'm kidding. But I'm saying, the energy's there. And that night I'm like, man, something just didn't feel right. And then sure as shit, they flew to New York. They didn't say who. They said that they had to cancel because they were going to go to New York and then fly out the next day to Dubai to play a show for some race, like at the end of a big race festival or some shit like that. And they said that they had to cancel that and they had to cancel it because a member, quote unquote, member of the Foo family had a medical emergency. Okay. And I knew then, I'm like, it's fucking Taylor. I know it's Taylor, dude. And I think he's on drugs again. I really was thinking that. And they never said anything. And then he was just gone.
Was Save March Center the last?
No. They played. They actually, he died on tour in, is it Spain or Chile? I can't remember where they were. But he died on tour. So.
Oh my God, dude.
Just
what a terrible, 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 terrible thing to happen.
But a beautiful celebration to follow up.
I'm going to obviously over time, as you know, once I get on my YouTube kick, over time, I'm going to have watched the shows and, watched all the performance. Most of them. I'm not going to watch Liam Gallagher. I'm not going to watch the Gallagher.
Nah,
Noel.
You can skip that.
I'm not going to watch Metallic or Law. Me and Lars, dude. I can't even look.
It was a fun performance, but it was a fun performance. I'll say that. It was fun. That Justin Hawkins guy is kind of crazy. The guy from The Darkness. He had this really awkward moment. He's so too much to the point that he actually had to release a statement about it because they're like, hey, let's bring out Brian Johnson and why am I blanking? Holy shit. Oh my God. And Lars Ulrich. Sorry about that. Let's bring out these guys and we're going to play some AC/DC songs. And they played them and everything, but Justin Hawkins was unannounced. So what you see, if you're not paying attention, is all of a sudden you see they're singing, I think it's Back in Black, and then he just comes out on stage and he's literally grabbing the microphone from Brian Johnson and singing in it. It's a weird kind of struggle because it was like they're trading verses, and then it's time for Brian Johnson to sing, and Justin Hawkins will not let go of the microphone. It was kind of weird. So everyone's like, what the fuck? And then it looks kind of like he's dismisses him. But what really happened was Brian Johnson had asked him to come out and do that with him. Hey, come out and sing the song with me. And he's like, well, I don't even really know. I'm going to have to look it up on my phone. And I kind of don't want to do this. But Dave apparently told him, listen, when Brian Johnson tells you to do something, you fucking do it.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. So he was, expecting to have his microphone ready to go or whatever. And then when it was time for him to come out, his microphone wasn't working. Oh, okay. So, but Brian Johnson, and afterwards you do see it. You see Brian Johnson wave him out come on out, man, and do the thing. So it was all purpose, it was purposely done, but it was just kind of done awkwardly because the microphone thing.
And people were like, what the crap is happening?
Because but that guy, Justin Hawkins, man, he's a good sport. And he's a pretty good singer too. I mean, he's definitely got a falsetto thing that some people hate, and not all the time, by the way, but it is one of his things that he does. He likes to sing kind of 80s rock with the high falsetto, but super fun to watch. And I was glad that he was there too, man.
I'm impressed, man. I can't wait to watch it. And thank you for the rundown, dude. This was really good, man. Thank you, Dan.
It was a lot. Yeah. I mean, guys, I guess, we haven't been back for a while, but this Taylor Hawkins thing, if you know me, means a lot. I didn't think I was going to be able to rap about it that much, if I'm being honest with you.
I knew, because I really had things I wanted to ask you, and I'm glad that you gave me the performances. What I got from this is it was beautiful, and I knew that there was going to be very few performances that I didn't want to see, and I was like, let me find out what I don't want to see, and you've helped me with that. Say, watch all of them except these, and you'll be fine. And so I'm really looking forward.
Gave you the Cliff's Notes.
Yes, and now I can't wait to. I know there are certain ones that I really, really, really want to see, and if I can make it through times like that, I don't know how long it's going to take me to watch that though.
At this point, I'm desensitized. I've watched it so many times, I'm desensitized.
Well, then, see, I got to get to that point because that's one of my. No, actually, I don't think they do my favorite songs on their tours. Really, I don't think anymore.
Who?
But that's fine.
Who are you talking about? The Foo Fighters?
Yeah, they don't do my favorite
Yes,
song.
they do.
My favorite song?
Guaranteed.
They do Bridges Burning?
Yeah.
I thought they stopped doing that. I watched a concert and they didn't do it.
Well, they didn't do it the last tour, but they still play that song often. I've heard that song so many times live.
Oh, well, then I've been watching the wrong, because once I start a concert, oddly enough, I'll just have it playing in the background. I'm like, might as well keep it. Keep it going. Yeah. You know, and they don't, but man, what a wonderful, wonderful group they are and were. All of them are still around having a good time with their families. So they still are a group, a family, but they're one of their members has gone on and, to
rest
whatever
in peace,
you believe
Taylor
out
Hawkins.
there. Yes.
That's the crazy thing, Steve, before we go is, I'm more or less an atheist. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'll just say that I don't believe in God. I'll just say that. So I guess by definition, that makes me an atheist. I really wanted to that day. I really wanted to have like Taylor looking down and seeing how appreciated he actually was. I know that's a cheesy thing to say, but I was like, man, if there was ever a time that I could have that would have been the time.
Well, there's this big old thing going around, and then we'll get out of here. There's a big idea going around where they're saying, on your birthday, tell the person what you would say at their funeral so that they know. Don't wait to the funeral to say this amazing thing. They're like, birthdays should make sure you do speeches as if this is their, because you don't know.
Well, I'll expect you to write up a full speech for me, Steve.
Oh, dude, I can give you understand. I think I could have Dan in tears. Give me a typewriter. Give me a typewriter. And all of a sudden, this dude's crying like a herb.
You heard it here first. He's going to make me cry on my birthday.
Hey, are you...
Could be the pain meds, just so you know.
Dude, you got to give me the information of what we're going to do, what's happening on that day, so I could at least, if it's on a weekday or whatever, the 50th is a take off of work day if you're doing something. I'm
going to be off on surgical leave, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing. But I'll be up and, I should be up and at 'em because... If I have it my way, we've already gone to Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I'm still down, dude. Seriously, I'm just like I'm hesitating to buy the ticket.
Oh no, we are going
until I wake up. Then I'm gonna buy a ticket.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go so that Homeboy put out a thing saying that he's going opening night. What's dude's name that wrote? He writes with Eric Dickerson.
Oh, Homeboy. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Damn, he wrote Doctor Strange. He writes horror movies with Eric. He recently wrote that one with Ethan Hawke. Anyway, he was like, I'm going to Halloween Horror. What's the Ethan Hawke movie that I liked with the mask?
The Black Phone.
Yes, he wrote.
Are they doing a Black Phone?
Yeah, they have a black. He said, I'm going to see what they did with the story.
Oh my God, Steve.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to see what they did. And I said, oh my God, he went from podcaster to journalist. And now he's going to see what this is crazy, man. He was a podcaster.
I feel like a schlub right now because his name has escaped me. So I'm going to look it up just to give him some love.
His name is,
I'll tell you right now.
Damn it.
You're talking about Joe Hill?
No.
Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson. He writes with Scott Derrickson.
Then I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, hold on. You know what? I'm just going
to... I have credits for me here on Black Phone anyways. Joe Hill, Scott Derrickson, and C. Robert Cargill.
C. Robert Cargill.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a podcaster, and then he started writing articles about horror movies, and next thing you know, he's writing a movie. And now he's seeing his freaking... One of the movies he's now written at Hollywood Horror. It's such a Twilight Zone. Yeah. Just like... my boy from that oh my God, what is wrong with my brain today? He just did Prey.
Amber Midthunder. I can't wait to see more.
Dan Trachtenberg.
Yeah, Dan Trachtenberg. I saw a picture
He
of
was
Amber.
a podcaster. Like these people that are just like on the podcast being like, well, I'm going to try to, film some more of my movie to see what happens. I'm like, these folks are saying there's only one shot. Let's just go. Do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember listening to this. Hey, chase your dreams, man.
As Steve Hudson would say, shoot your shot.
Dude, you might as well, just like you, Dan, shoot your shot, man. I still think you should get up on open mic one day.
We'll see.
I really do, man.
We'll see.
And
man.
One person will be laughing. If not laughing at the jokes, the awkwardness of it all.
Yeah, you'll make me seem funny.
They'll be like, somebody.
You'll get the crowd laughing at me, one of the two. Probably the latter. By the way, I did not think that Amber Midthunder was the person you were talking about. When I pulled it up on IMDb, she's the first person I saw. And since I mentioned her name, I can't wait to see what she does. I think she's going to
be fantastic, dude.
She's going to be a star, bro.
Also,
for sure.
Side note, next, though, maybe for our next show, we're going to have to get into this Don't Worry Darling situation.
Dude, I was ready. Can we just real quick? Because it's going to be old news.
I got to go, man, because I know they're on their way at any second.
Okay, listen. Here's the deal. Let's work this out. I usually don't work this shit out on the air, if you so to speak. We owe you guys it's a new month, so we owe you guys a Patreon show. This is what I want to talk about, Steve, to some degree. I'm not saying you have to do all of this.
Yes.
Certainly that. And hopefully this week we can do. Maybe this weekend we can get together for a quick Patreon.
Yeah.
Knock that out. I want to talk about that because that's wild.
It's Olivia Wilde.
You beat me to it. Melissa Sloter actually was my roving Hollywood reporter, and she broke it down for me. You know what I mean? On the what's going on.
Maybe.
Oh, I like where your head's going here, Steve.
Since she has it all down like nothing, maybe she should be on the show.
We will work out a date, and then I will definitely send that to her because I always love having Melissa on the show.
Is she a Harry Styles person?
No.
Oh, wow.
Nor should anyone be.
Oh!
My daughter was a Harry Styles person. She now thinks he's a douche, but not because of this situation.
Hey! So, okay, before I leave, I'm just going to leave it with this question. Did he spit on Chris Pine?
I kind of think he did.
Dude, if people are saying that he didn't, I'm like, the way I'm looking, he definitely made a spitting motion.
Yeah, well, yes, you see his lips.
Yes!
pucker.
And then Chris Pine looks at his lap.
Like, you motherfucker.
Yes, dude.
However, the opposite argument is that because you just see him fumbling with like his sunglasses, and someone was saying that he had his sunglasses versus his regular glasses to watch the show.
Come on.
I don't buy that. That's like some MAGA logic. Like,
he spit on him. No, he spit on him, dude.
You just lit that building on fire in honor for Trump. No, we didn't. We didn't. It's not burning. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, I you know what? Just for the juiciness of it, because it is it's a juicy little story, dude. I think he did,
bro. I'm shocked.
We'll talk about that.
If it did happen,
yeah.
The wherewithal of Chris Pine to be like, I don't even need to make a big deal about this. But if he did spit on him, and this is real talk, Marvel should cut everything he does with them.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel should not be working with a guy who spits on an actor in front of camera. You just shouldn't reward this.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially someone that's just gotten into the game. Yes, he's been around musically for a while, but he's just getting into the game.
Gee.
This is bad behavior.
He's lucky he didn't get clocked.
And you know what? Even if he didn't spit on him, it's bad protocol going. It's not all completely his fault, but that's bad protocol, man. You're going into one of your first movies, fucking around with the director. Like, you know what? I used to kind of like Olivia Wilde, and people have their situations. You know, we've all been through personal shit in our relationships, but that seems from the reader's side of things, the viewer's side of things. That whole thing just seems hella shady, and I want to talk about it. I'm here for that kind of shit. I like the chisme, senor.
Oh yeah, and I also want to talk about how much did she? Because you know she put out that article talking about I saw this on one of a blacklisted script. Mm-hmm. Changed a few things and kind of made it my own. People are like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. That means you took someone's idea that
you kind of plagiarized a little bit. Is what you did. And then just so I know where you're at with this whole thing, did you see the video of her talking to Shia?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we got shit to talk about.
And my son said, he was like, this is the first time Shia has come out in a good light, sort of. And he's like, I think it'll be back downhill for him.
Yeah,
but
he'll fuck up sooner or later.
Yeah. He said, this is the first time people are like, oh, Shia released something that's kind of, dude, Sudeikis should be happy. Even though he was heartbroken, he should be watching this and be like, maybe I kind of dodged a bullet here, even though he is attached to her for at least 18 years.
Do you think that Shia LaBeouf would say that this is the epitome of bad protocol? Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, but it's funny.
Yeah, he was trying to say epitome. He said it's the epitome. Yeah,
dude,
good shit.
Hey, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, we'll go. Listen, this is what I want to talk about. We'll get out of here. Steve's got to do. He's got people coming over his house. He's a fancy pants these days. This is what I will at least be talking about on the Patreon episode that hopefully we record this weekend. I want to talk about House of Dragon. I want to talk about Hulu's This Fool, which Steve and I, we have a lot to say about that show. I would like to see where we are with She-Hulk so far. And then I will just say, because I put in the work, that I did watch Samaritan on Amazon Prime. So I got some shit to say about that one too. And I also want to know what Steve Hudson's opinion is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh!
I want to know. Okay, that says a lot. Say no more.
Yeah.
Say no more. Ladies and gentlemen, you have listened to the first Heroes of Noise episode in quite a while, at least on the regular feed.
We kind of killed it today, G.
I have a great time talking with you, dude. I had a fun time. So hopefully y'all did too. And I will talk about this off mic, but Steve, I would definitely like to do a Patreon show this week. And I got a lot to talk about still, man. There's still a lot going on in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So with that, you want to take them out?
People, I love you. Hey, and make sure whoever you love in your life, let them know, give them hugs, because we do not understand how short this life is. We do not understand until someone is lost. Let that not be the reason that you don't get it. Love whoever you love. Hug them. If you're mad at someone that you love, squash it today. And even if they're like, I'm still right, fine, whatever. Love, love, love. I'm out.
That's advice I need to take in my personal life, but I'll leave it at that. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back very soon. We'll be back in about a week with the regular show. We're going to do, we're bi-weekly. That's right. So we'll come back, but I'm going to tell you something. This is something that I'm going to do. I know Steve's got to get out of here. I think what I'm going to start doing is some of the Patreon shows that we're doing, because we are doing more now, I'm going to start putting those into the regular feed, but at a later time, because as a bonus or as a courtesy to the patrons, they get that first. But I'm going to start releasing some older shows too, just because we're bi-weekly, and there's a lot of heroes that you have not heard. So that's all for now. People, be good to yourselves. Be good to the people around you. Peace.